Fourth try making a speech. Hope you like it. To my most dearest judge, last year on January, I competed and prepared writing and speaking. During that time, I had to write and speak about the topic of vaping and whether or not it should be an acceptable alternative to smoking. I worked tirelessly, researched every nook and cranny about e cigarettes. I worked as if there was no tomorrow. When it was finally time to give that speech, it was beyond perfection. That speech, as glorious as it was my Mona Lisa. After I gave that speech, the winners were announced: fifth, fourth, third, second, first. Mr. Jeremy Katapuram, you have won fifth place. On that day, not only did I give a speech about smoking, my entire dreams of getting to nationals turned to smoke. This year, however, the topic is different. Beyond all limits. And boy, do I have a lot to talk about going beyond limits. But let's take a step back. Take a deep breath out and heal from past trauma. Limits are perhaps the most irritating things on this planet. They're the reason why we can't do certain things. Last year, I worked at the very limit of my limit, and I still couldn't outcompete the top 4 people last year. But maybe, just maybe, that wasn't the right way of thinking. I worked at my limit, true, but other people have different limits, and some of theirs may be greater than mine. Maybe it's time to set the bar higher. Instead of blaming the past and people for your limitations, maybe see it as a boundary waiting to be placed further away. And that's what I'm focusing on today. You know, in our education system, so many of our own kids, competitors, or even future doctors never achieve their full potential because they believe they could never achieve it. In other words, they think they maxed out. It's unbelievably simple to buy into the lie that our weaknesses and our limitations are dead ends that nature placed in us without having any clue that those same dead ends can be bulldozed by effort. When it comes to teachers, I don't think anything is worse than the lost potential for a new generation of people. When Malala Yousafzai, a Pakistani activist, was shot in the face for fighting for a right to go to school, she got straight back up and continued her fight. This was after surgery, of course. But the point is, if even death couldn't stop her, why do we need to think that limits can stop us? And this reminds me of a very deeply touching story of my role model. No, not my mom, not my dad, no. Colonel Sanders, the guy who made Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC. The life of this man was defined by hardships. He started franchising his restaurant at age 65, an age where my grandfather is enjoying his 401k plan. And when he showed this to his business partners, he got rejected 1,009 times. I have no idea who counted this, but he persisted. Not only did this man not let age, failures, or rejection set the bar, he set the bar himself, putting it beyond himself, beyond all limits. Now, the moral of the story is that going beyond your limits is a necessity. And yes, it can also be quite tasty. This brings us back to Hosa's theme this year: going beyond all limits. Yes, we will have obstacles. Yes, it will deprive us of happiness. But we can't skip it like the ads on YouTube. And as I've seen with the members of Hosa, no one here is satisfied until every single square centimeter of our soul has been pushed to its limit. Being soft and pliable to our limits is no way to face life. Because in Hosa, either we stand, either we fall, either we're winners, and winners take all. My name is Jeremy Canterbury. Thank you.